Hey folks, Quilly18 here, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play RimWorld version 0.17.38, I think. Last episode we did, we did a few things. We set up a bit of a defensive wall against some critters, and we got our belt and inserter production, and now we're going to do science. So we only got 2 science labs. I thought I was going to produce some more. I guess I didn't have the means on me, but that's okay. That's going to be fine to get started, and I did notice that our, iron production was stagnating a little bit, so I did put down some extra iron mines over here for now, but we're going to have to get more of these iron lines built. That's probably what we're going to do next. But first, yes, I do want to get the science. So with science, you actually want, like, lots of science labs. Now, early on, you're probably not going to be able to produce enough science flasks to, to work a million science labs. But later on, the production takes a long time per tick. So let's review this for a second. Let me just get this other rock out of the way here. Yeah, I really need to get the steel axe set up so I can dig these out a little faster. If we look at science, so different science projects, they require, so here the steel axe needs 1 beaker and 30 seconds times 50. Different projects will have different time needed. Later on, the times requirement, like the parts requirements are quite big, but also the time requirements are quite big. So you're going to want a lot of labs so you can have a lot of them working simultaneously. Early on, it's not a big deal. There's a bunch of different ways you can lay them out, especially if you're looking for beacons and things like that. But I'm going to keep things simple. I'm going to sort of make it like a 5 by 5 grid for our science. Leave a little gap in between. Because what I like to do is get these to feed each other. I think that is incorrect. Yeah, because it's there. We want something like this. I guess what I could do here, just to make life a little simpler, is click the blueprint button, grab these guys, say OK, and then shift paste. Boom, boom, and then one more over here. So I only have 2 labs, so we're going to set those up first. And what's going to happen is our science, at least for now, is going to ride along the front here, and we are going to grab science off of this into here. That's it. And then what's going to happen later is what we'll do is we'll trickle the science down and things like that. It just makes, I don't know, it just works nicely, especially because there's like 35,000 different types of colored flasks now. Okay, I think there's like 7. I'm not sure. Line up there, 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 just to keep that pattern going. And then hook up over here somehow, and we'll see. All right, so we got to get some science in there, which is groovy, and right now it's just going to be red, and that's pretty easy to do. So, ballpark, what I'm going to do is work around the idea of, 5.5? Oh, no, that's total raw, so 5 seconds. I'm going to work around the idea of, I'll try to produce 1 science per second for now. Actually, I often go for 2 science per second. So I'll probably do that. So it takes a regular factory 5 seconds to make a science pack. So if I want 1 per second, I need 5 factories. If I want 2 per second, I will need 10 factories. So that's what I'm going to work on. Turns out I have 10 assembling machines on me. So what we're going to do is set up 5 like this. There we go. And again, we want the gap of 3. So I like to put a little ghost image as a thing over there. And we're going to say red science like that. Boom, 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 boom. So my goal will be to load red science on one side of this. I'm going to save the other side for green science. There we go. Which is going to be, that's going to be more than enough bandwidth. Again, all we're doing here is we're going to be producing 2 per second in total, which does not occupy very much of our belt space at all. What I should do is pick up some iron plates. Actually, I'll pick up some green circuits too, because it needs some of that. Excellent. And save us some production time. And then some iron plates. Groovy. And make a couple more assembly machines. Wow. Really do need a lot more iron. That's the RimWorld. That's the Factorio thing. However much you think you need a lot more than that. Here, I'll start up some labs too. Okay. So, for our red labs, for our red science, I should say, we need 2 things. First, we need copper plates. Easy. It's one of the few things that uses copper plates directly. And then we also need iron gears. So, how many do we need? We need 2 iron gears per second. Total. For an entire setup over here. Which ain't much. In fact, if we look here, if we set you up to do iron gears, it turns out we get 2 per second from just having a single production run over here. That is all we need. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna run a little iron down to here. I'm gonna get some undergrounds here to there. And again, if placing these is a little bit hard sometimes, doing it blind. So I build them the wrong way and then I rotate them the right way around. Like that. So with these, what's going to happen is we're going to do this, 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 and that eventually to pull things off the bus as we have all of these lines going. It's a little moot right now because we're not producing enough to really work all these lines, but this is going to be the idea. Like that. And actually, sometimes what you want to do on your splitters, you may want to prioritize towards the right on all of them. So again, I shift right click, shift left click to paste, and it tends to just saturate things in an appropriate way. The thing is, we actually don't need very much metal down here, but let's pretend. Anyway, so boom, boom. If we do that, there we go. We will now get, can I put it right here? Yes, I can. And I think I'm going to bring this up. We'll probably have to move some of these or whatever. Oh, am I on power cables? Okay, good. I've been chopping down trees. Woo. At some point, we're going to want to stop using these small ones, but not until we get steel going, which we could go now, but... All right, we're down here. So you are now producing 2 of these per second, which is exactly what we need. That is swinging very slowly. We do not have enough electricity. Okay, right, I forgot. I did actually build everything we needed to expand our electrical circuits, so let's do that now. So yeah, when you're low on power, what happens, everything that uses power simply starts running more slowly. So let's just fix our power real quick and then go back to the sciencing. This is my walking music. Oh, you're out of bullets over there. Also, why is there a critter over here? I get things coming around the lake this way. Oh, probably these guys. Okay. Well, we definitely need to protect our power infrastructure. Double wall up. I guess I only have 2 guns, but honestly, I mean, that's going to be fine at this point. I got a bunch of bullets in here. Yes, I do. I'm going to put a full 200 stack in both of those. Okay. So, we're leaving gaps like this because we need room for the actual power cables. Like that, and a little bit of pipe to make sure the water is flowing. Excellent. And then inserters like so. And then for power, oh yeah, I can't walk through here. I may have to like decide to install a mod. I don't tend to do it when we're like on an experimental version of the game like this because a lot of the mods break, but I suspect squeak through would work fine. And then we could go and pass through here. I'm going to try to resist going for long reach because I tend to use it to be pretty cheesy, but squeak through is just such a huge quality of life thing. Okay, there we go. So now we have a lot more power. Full satisfaction. Only half our production is currently in use, so that's great. And let's go and drop some more bullets. There you go. Make sure to have good protection on our power infrastructure over here. Okay, so I'm feeling much more secure now. Let's go back down and finish our technology. And yeah, what I'll probably do in between next episodes is build this up. This thing here will be an iron producer later on, but we don't need it right now. So I figure I'll just build the copper here just because there's not really room to set up the copper smelting. It might end up over here. I might do it further away and just use trains or something like that. Again, 1 line of copper is going to be more than what we need for a long time. And then we're going to need all the copper. So what I want to do now is we're going to have our gears on one side over here. So I just want to get copper on the other side of this line. So this is going to be our copper over here in some fashion. It's going to split off that way and then do that. And you'll notice rather than go down here and use these things very often, see, we're being attacked somewhere, but aha, right over here. Rather than like find the thing, I tend to like find another thing on the screen and just use Q to rapidly select it. Very, very, very handy. There we go. Just gonna side load in some copper. Boom, 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 like that. And I guess I'll split. I could wrap around, which is actually often what I do, but we'll just do this. And go here, like this, to here. Done. All right. You're gonna grab this and that. And again, we don't actually have to use this much, but it keeps my pattern going, and that feels good. If it feels good, do it, kids. Don't let anyone tell you how to run your life or something. Maybe that's actually really terrible advice. Probably it is. Boom, boom, boom. Done. There. Not quite reach. There we go. Then just connect you up over here. I'll probably, build a redundant power connection over here. And now we are making red science, which will get loaded into these labs here. And I did go and build a few more, so we'll get those set up. And then that there. I gotta pick up a big load of yellow inserters from where I'm building them in bulk. Boom. Okay, so those will slowly fill up. And then we'll end up with a big backlog of red science. 2 science per second is pretty quick early on. Now, with this, did I forget to set a cap? No, it is just that. I just wondered how I ended up with over 100. I must have picked up a couple of times. We're going to grab a bunch of transport belts because we were almost out of those. And then, we'll grab some yellows. I'll grab some extra yellows for now because we don't do the blue thing yet. And a half stack of red, which will put me at exactly 50, which is lovely. Notice I don't do burner inserters. Got the 2 in the power thing just to give us a little bit of buffer. And other than that, we're okay. So, the steel axes. Steel axe technology does take a while, but... right? I think I will go and actually build up all the labs right now. And building labs is sort of a one-time thing, so I don't tend to automate the production of it. Actually, I shouldn't pick up copper, and I don't really need the raw copper ever. It's mostly just this stuff. Boom, boom. And then I think 1, 2, 3, but I don't want to do it right now and end up with more labs than I'm not going to use. Actually, I'm even going to cancel this last thing, just in case I overproduce my labs. Because I can't do anything with them. Well, I suppose I could just plop them down, but I like my 5x5 pattern, and it would ruin it if I made too many. And how terrible would that be, you guys? Again, this Factorio leads to this sort of obsessive thought that is not entirely good. And yet, you can't deny it, so you sort of just have to put up with it. Accept the fact that there's going to be a little bit of unhealthiness. I don't like that you can't, like, eyedrop or something if you don't have any. Because I wish I could just put down a ghost. I mean, you could do it with a blue blueprint. I guess that would be a thing, but still a little bit annoying. Come on. It's making all the green circuits. Let me cancel you, actually, because I picked up a bunch of green circuits. There we go. So now you have to make green circuits. You'd have to make gears. I could have picked them up somewhere, but... You're driving me bonkers. Well, at least there'll be plenty of red flasks set up. Steel axe coming in soon, which is going to help us clear things way faster, mostly for those big annoying rocks. Those are the things that take the longest. Go, go, go. Making labs at least is pretty quick. 2 seconds per is pretty short. So now I have 1, so I can put the ghost back. Ah, feels good. Okay. Boom. There we go. And you can see it's like these red flasks. Some of the early projects, because they're so short, like per tick of science, we may not end up with enough reds quickly enough, but we'll be okay. Next project. So what we're going to be doing is I'm going to go ahead and unlock the green science stuff right away because I want to finish the science area. So logistics science pack that's going to come in very quickly. See it just ticking like fast. It's quite a bit faster than the Steel Axe project as well. The 5 more, and then 3. 1, 2, 3. There we go, and then we'll be finishing our little 5x5 grid. And yeah, since the this goes so quickly, you can see we're actually a little short on reds, but it's okay. These guys will be ticking like crazy later on. We're overbuilding the science for now, but it's going to be here for life, and we'll be happy that it's there. Boom. We're building a bunch of Epcot centers is what we're doing here. All right, logistics pack is done. So we'll just queue up some more things that use it. Actually, what I'll do is I'll queue up the fast inserter technology, because we are going to want to be able to set up construction of blue inserters. Because right now, a lot of, well, not here, but a lot of places, the yellow inserters are simply not enough to, they're not fast enough to keep up with what we need. Okay, that's good, that's good. Green science, right. So, green science needs a little bit more work than this. First of all, it takes slightly longer. It takes 6 seconds instead of 5. So what we're going to do is we're going to build more assembly machines. Actually, let me single click a bunch first, and then right click a few like that. Excellent. So they come in a little faster. So we're going to need 12. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Excellent. And you are going to make green, so logistic science packs. I think they used to just be called red, green, whatever. Or maybe they were like 1, 2, 3, something like that. No, I think they were named by the color. But the science packs have been reorganized a fair bit. So we're going to burn through a lot of these like red-only researches that are really cheap very, very quickly. I mean, we could have burned through them all by now just by having a single science station work this entire time. But I knew I didn't need any of those techs at that time, so that's all right. Oops. And over here, I keep putting down 3. Duh, 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 and duh. And then, yeah, we'll get you to connect up over here. Very nice. Optics are done. Heavy armor, sure. Boom. All right. Ooh, something got smashed. Oh, it was one of my random, way out of the way turrets where I'd cleared a camp. We do have a big wave. Shoot! Shoot, shoot, shoot! Shoot the critters, is what I'm saying, and not any other word whatsoever. Trying to keep this, for some reason, trying to keep this Factorio run a little family friendlier than some of the words we use in some of... Did you die? Oh, we do have guns over here. You're waiting for the radar. Okay. Alright, that's fine. Although what I will do is I'll take advantage of this natural cliffside here. We'll build a little bit of a wall over here. And build, I guess, 2 gun turrets. Yeah, I'll have to produce some more. I mean, at some point we're going to want automatic production of gun turrets. Especially since they take 5 seconds per to build, which is kind of slow. And by kind of slow, I mean really freaking slow. I'll get you over here, and we'll give you... Oh, I don't have a ton of bullets either. Oh no, we're using some bullets over there. I'm going to drop 200 in there, which is going to be fine. Wait for the other gun turret. Put you over here, and I'm going to put another stack of 200 in there. All right. And then the bullets I had left over, please to be putting back in over here. And yeah, see this little pistol, I'm just gonna drop it over here. Hope I don't accidentally pick it up again. Heavy armor is done. Well, we can start researching is faster bullet shooting speed and faster damage, which is gonna be kind of relevant to what's going on here. Still really dark at night in Factorio. The night is dark and full of terrors and biters and things like that. Oh, this blueprint, I'm just gonna go and delete that blueprint. That's just taking up inventory space for something we don't care about. All right, well, now that that's done, let me pick up some of these and, like, make some guns. So they're ready, and then a little bit of that. Okay, we will automate production of guns later, but not yet. You can see more of these are working now, because these researchers are just slower, so that's going to be okay. All right, let's talk about green science packs. So green science packs are more complicated because the stuff that we need to make them are more complicated. We need to feed transport belts and inserters. Now, again, because they only need 1 of each, and we're producing 2 of these per second, we still just need 2 transport belts per second and 2 inserters per second, which is pretty easy to do. We just sort of move over a little bit here. So if we want to do belts, I mean, I know we're already producing belts up top, but we're going to do some in place here. You can see you generate 4 transport belts per second. So again, a single one of these is going to be all we need. And then likewise for the inserters, which is over here, the yellow inserters, we produce 2 of these per second. So a single one of these is what we need as well. And so this is all we need to produce our green science stuff. Easy. Here, I'll show you the other approach. Rather than use a splitter, what we're gonna do is do this, and then go and duck under, and just loop around like this, like that. There you go. Then we can feed all the green science that way. A couple of different ways to do it. Okay. So, like this. Okay, so now we have to get the components in here. So, for the transport belts, we need iron plates and iron gears. And over here, we need iron plates, iron gears, and electronic circuits. So, we are going to need 2... So, we're going to need 4 iron gear wheels per second. And I believe, as it turns out, actually we can move this way closer. Actually, we could do it this way. And like that, and like that. There we go. So on this belt, for example, all we need is iron plates. We get iron plates over here, we'll get this going on. So let's actually plan that, and then we'll be moving some other things, but it's going to be okay. I'm actually going to go... Something's shooting. Our wall over here. Excellent. Making its job. I'm going to do this to shove over, because I'm going to have the green circuits come down here for the other thing. Something like that. Boom. And boom. And again, here what I'm going to do is build these backwards and then rotate them. Rotate, rotate. And yeah, like, so it lines up a little derpily over here. For some reason you end up having to do some rebalancing and things, at least the way I end up building things. But that's okay. It's going to be easy to get all the plates that we need over here. And yeah, here I'll just do this, just skip that power cable. Actually, I may as well use all the length of the underground. Like that. There we go. Weapon shooting speed is done. We'll get the weapon damage. And then all the science after this is going to need red and green. But we're already setting up the green, so that's well set up. Done. Get the stuff down over here. Oh, yes. And then we need green circuits, which we're going to need for the inserters. And we don't need to double side this. So there's going to be a bunch sitting idle on the belt, but that's okay. I also didn't need to go quite this far with all this, but that's fine. Actually, let me pull back on this. Because what we're going to do here is throw a little splitter on this. Done. Okay. So, gear. You're going to grab that. We're going to power this, that, these, and like this. And this is now going to do what we need. So again, you can see this is simply swinging full time. This should be making 2 per second, but you can see the yellow is not flipping quickly enough to be able to satisfy this. The blues split twice per second. Yellow is once per second. So this is just not quick enough for us to actually get the full rate. I could double up on yellows and things and whatever, but let's just go, now that we've got a little bit of green science going, let's swing back up to where we're making our inserters. And let's just get our blue inserter working. So, for a blue inserter, right here, right there. So a blue inserter needs a yellow inserter, a green circuit, and a iron plate. So we're going to feed the yellows, we're going to feed the greens, and what we're going to end up with is another line of iron plates like this. Boop, boop, boop. And you're going to do a little underground skip, I think. I don't even know if we actually need it, but let's do that. Do a little this. Limit you to quite a bit, actually, 4 stacks of you, because we're going to want a lot of blues in our inventory pretty regularly. Oh, and you need to actually grab There we go. I think that's everything. So now we're producing blues. Of course, I could also produce them by hand, which I will produce some over here. And in particular, power's still good, right? Yeah. Because this is not swinging fast enough. So we're going to start wanting blues. To get these going quickly enough. Done. Right now we've got a backlog of these, but we are going to need to change this up. There we go. Get more blues. Because we will go through these gears shockingly fast. And for maximum throughput, these all need to be blue. This technically for the reds need to be blue to build reds as quickly as we can. We just don't need that many reds. So we'll like save a tiny little bit of power that way. Blues need more electricity than yellows. So technically, if you want to be economical, you go ahead and wait. There we go. So we are done with just red and only science. So now we're going to start developing stuff that needs green. Probably one of the first things to do is the advanced material processing here, which will give you the ability to have a much better furnace. The steel furnace as opposed to the stone furnace, which works much, much faster. Also uses a lot less fuel, so that's kind of nice. And there we go. So we got the blue inserters started. What I'm going to do is I'm going to swing down, pick up a few of these plates here, and then maybe some electronic circuits. I'm going to make a bunch more of the fast inserters in hand here. I'm going to swing down to the place where we're making the parts for the green science. There we go. Boom. So now you are constantly producing. There's not a little red thing telling us that we're short for a second on anything. There's no gaps. So we should probably properly be producing 2 of these per second, which means these guys should be getting completely full on stuff. We actually produce 4 per second of the transport belts, but they actually don't unload. They are actually. 2 transport belts are at 0.5 seconds. Did the blues swing 4 per second? I didn't think so. But we're not ending up with any dead stuff over here. Maybe they do. Maybe the yellow string every half second? I thought it was every 1. I don't know. Anyway, so we should, once we catch up on our inserters, all these should be producing, which means we should be producing 2 green per second. I'm not wrong, am I? You do this. And you're producing 2 per second. Oh, you actually are having a hard time keeping up with the gears. You shouldn't be, though. How come you're having a slightly hard time? It might just be a slight gap. Oh, you know what? Maybe the tooltip is delayed, actually. More than the actual construction, because I actually don't see any gap in construction. Yeah, it seems fine. I think the tooltip just has a little bit of latency in it. Yeah, you're coming down. Yeah, eventually these will all be working, and that's going to be okay. So that's good. And then there we go. We got some green and red. This will be fine. And again, some of these take less time than others. But yeah, basically, what right now, see, we need, with 25, we need, so we are producing, I guess what we need to keep this in pace with 25 is we need slightly less than 1 per second of each of these flasks, and we're producing, in theory, 2 per second. They do store up at up to 2 each, I think, so you're going to see these sort of fill up first before it comes over there, but then there's going to be a bottleneck, or there's going to be some stuff. It's going to be all right. We probably need to blue these up, though, actually. At least the first few levels, because they trickle to the back so quickly, so we want to be able to grab them fairly fast for this to actually be mostly able to use them. All right. I'll do this one. I'll leave the last one on yellow to save a little bit of power. Because again, the research times are pretty slow. Advanced materials, and that's great. We can get better guns. Automation 2. So this is a big difference from earlier versions of Factorio. You really don't need to rush Automation 2 because this is just the automation that uses liquids. Your Automation 1 can use more than just 2 ingredients, which is something that wasn't the case before. The electrical distribution is going to be something we're going to want to unlock so that we can get the fancier poles, at least once we get some steel production. So, now that we got all the way into blue... Oh, can we make red? No. Probably... Well, we'll do the electrical pole. No, you know what? Actually, I will do the logistics too. Because we don't have steel production right now, so we can't really make use of the higher electrical poles. What we're going to do is we're going to be ready for logistics 2 over here, which is the red transport belts and associated components over here. And basically, oh, and this should all be glued up as well. Even though there's a backlog currently on the gears, it's a little deceptive because what happens is the later components of these need ludicrous amounts of gears. And so their gear production is going to fall behind at that point. That way, and that way, and like that, and like that, and like that. Okay. And yeah, that'll be logistics. And I can't remember actually what the... You just need see, it's 5 gear wheels to make red transport belts. 40 gears for that one. And then this. So none of those need steel plates, though. So you just need this. And I guess we may as well blue that as well. And do that. And then for the gears... It's going to end somewhere, but I don't know where. Like that. Like that. You're pulling those in, and you're going to be putting them into boxes. Oh, make me more iron chests, please. So steel chests upgrade to like logistical ones later on, which is quite nice, but they take a lot more to produce. And iron chests are like are fine for almost every application. So don't make steel chests just because. Oh, this, hold on. My electrical poles don't match the pattern. Unacceptable. I guess then that goes there. Hang on. Oh, I guess I was doing it this way. But then that doesn't cover that. Oh, that's fine, I guess. Weird that the patterns aren't quite the same. So I'm going to change this to only the 1 stack, because basically we're not going to use yellows anymore. I mean, we can save some materials in some places and only use yellows, but mostly I'm not going to want to carry them. I'm only going to want to carry the reds, is going to be the idea. You got a single stack there, which we're going to copy into this. We're also going to copy the single stack rule over here and have 2 stacks of these undergrounds. You just tend to need the undergrounds quite a bit more in my experience. I'm happy to have 2 stacks of them around. So that seems to be okay. So really all we have to do is wait for logistics 2 to finish, put the jobs in here, and boom, we're going to start getting the red stuff. So what I'll do is I'll put a cut in here. I'll get those set up once the tech finishes, and I think what I'm going to do is build more of the smelting. Now, there's only so much mining we can do at once, but you can see there's a backlog of the iron ore over here, and we're not mining absolutely everything we can yet. So I'm going to set up the rest of the mining here. I'm going to set up, probably go up to like 4 of the mining, which works out nicely for our 4 lines over here. I don't think we have to set up any more lines than that right now. It won't be useful. But we'll also have to figure out a place to do some steel smelting at that point. Which is a whole nother something. Now, I wonder... Now normally with steel smelting, I set up in such a way that I use raw iron ore and coal, and then do a localized steel smelting. But I could actually maybe just do steel smelting over here. So to make steel, you take iron plates and then smelt it a second time, and you end up with steel. So you can either piggyback off your iron production. No, I think I'll do steel smelting over here, dedicated area. Then it's just easier to expand later on for like when you've got trains, like bring in bulk stuff. So yeah, I'll build it over here. I'll divert some of the raw iron ore over here. Where's my blueprint book? I've saved my this blueprint here for my mines. So what'll probably happen is we'll go and just set up like 4 rows. Get in there. Like this for steel production, which you do need a lot of steel, or you need quite a bit more steel later on, but I feel like 4 lines is probably gonna be more than good enough for anything, especially since on my bus I think 1 line of steel is enough. So I suspect this is going to be okay, especially if this gets upgraded with the more advanced smelters. We have unlocked steel furnaces. Steel furnaces work a lot faster. They have crafting speed of 2, so they produce twice as fast. And it turns out that the red transport belts have a speed of 30 items per second. Red belts are twice as fast as yellow belts. Steel smelters are twice as fast as stone smelters. So you just, same design, you just double everything through, and then that becomes pretty sick and pretty good at that point. So yeah, I think that's going to be fine. Anyway, we'll put a cut in here. Thanks for watching, folks. I'll see you guys next time.